Okay, this is going to be the most comprehensive breakdown of a tech stack you've probably ever seen. Today we're going to be checking out our good friends at David Protein Bar. They've been blowing up recently, so I thought let me pay a visit, see what they've got going on in their tech stack. And we're going to be looking at these kind of 10 different areas. Some of it touches on some of their marketing, but just trying to see what kind of apps and tools that they're using as such in terms to do some of the amazing stuff that they're doing. So we're going to be looking at these different areas. Let's get straight into it. I'll save the caveats for the end. So I'm going to start with CRO because no bias at all. You can see that they've got one main landing page in their ads. So if you go to most of the ads, so some of the Google ads are obviously just for like, the home page, and some of the product page, shopping ads, some of the stuff. But in terms of Facebook, and most of their spend is going to this page called like Meet David, which is just a landing page. Nothing super fancy on here. A lot of it is stuff from the product page, but the first couple of sections have been tailored to the page specifically, which I think is huge. Something I'm a huge, fan of, using landing pages, and you can see, these guys are crushing it because of that. That's pretty much where all of the ad spend on Facebook is going to. So you can just imagine how much traffic that page is getting. So yeah, huge. Also using Microsoft Clarity. I'm a huge fan of Microsoft Clarity. I've used a bunch of different heat map tools, and I think this one is the best out there right now, and it's just free. It's unbelievable to say, but it's just free. So it's great to see some of the people who are killing it in the space are also clocking onto this, realizing this as well. And then A/B testing tool is Intelligems, my tool of choice for A/B testing. If you're on Shopify and you want to do template tests, this is going to be the best thing for you ever, and it's just really great at the price that it's at as well. So let's move over to Shopify side. So they're using a pretty simple Shopify tech stack. There's nothing crazy from what I can see here. They're using a default Shopify checkout. You can see here they've even got the default blue color, so they've not changed that yet. So these guys are probably moving at 100 miles per hour, so maybe not got time to do all the details just yet. But yeah, Dawn theme, customize. Huge fan of the Dawn theme. I think this is definitely the way to go. Dawn theme has a ton of support, ton of videos, ton of resources, ton of sections, and it's great to get that out of the bat, and then customize whatever things you need to from there. Also, they've gone with a custom cart, but not an app. So they've obviously had a team of developers behind this cart here to make sure it functions well. I'm assuming they didn't go for an app because an app just didn't have the kind of functionality they wanted to, so they just wanted to do a custom. And also there is some kind of benefits on speed if you have some really good developers on your team. With Shopify default, you've got Shopify Pay, so they're not using anything crazy over there, and then got some basic apps for like customers and stuff like this. Let's move over to customer service. Super quick one, just gorgeous. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. I'm assuming this is all you need. So shout out to Gorgeous. They are killing it as a company. Let's touch on SEO quickly. Again, nothing here that's like super crazy, I don't think. So they've got default Shopify, schemas for their products. On Google, if you ever see like when you type company name, you see this little panel that comes up. This means that they're using something called an organization schema, and I don't think it has like too many extra points apart from just it looks cool. So good to see they're using that. Page speed, it says they've got a page speed score of 49 on mobile, which looks like it's pretty low, and of course it's red here, but I think it loads pretty fast, to be honest. I've got some super fast internet, so maybe I need to go to like the middle of the forest and try it, but it looks pretty good to me in terms of load speed. So I'm not sure if that score's completely accurate to what users actually feel. And in terms of domain rating, they've got a score of 35. Obviously these guys have been blowing up over the whole B2B space and CPG space as well, so I'm assuming they've got a ton of articles which are now linking to them. So maybe this just blew up over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month sort of thing. And then in terms of their sitemap, of course, they've got some blogs, affiliates, landing pages, some tests, some customer service stuff, all this stuff you can go and check out. Again, you can check this out for literally any Shopify store you want to. And I think, yeah, nothing in here that's like crazy to me. We'll touch on the affiliate stuffs and a little bit later. So retention now, we've got the most common apps you'd expect for email and SMS. So Klaviyo and PostScript leading the way, and then they've gone for Yotpo for the reviews app. Kendo is usually up there as well. So yeah, those are one of the two choices I'll choose for a reviews app. But yeah, Yotpo, I usually find most people have some kind of issues with it, so I'm not sure whether they're planning to change on that or whether they're enjoying it. And I also think the reviews on the product page could be a bit more like brighter and bolder, since obviously a lot of social proof, since these guys blowing up, will be needed and presenting it in a way that looks cool. Analytics, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So you've got your triple wheel, you've got your Elevar, bread and butter in terms of the analytics world. And then you've got these two platforms I've never heard of before. So Angular AI and Dash.fi. So I'm not sure if they're currently using this, maybe they tried it, whatever it is, but these seem to be inside of the tech stack right now. Maybe I'll check them out later. Sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to see if anyone else in the space is using these and what they have to say, but shout out to these guys. Sounds like they're doing a good job. In terms of advertising, we've got the ones you'd expect. So you Google ads, Facebook ads. I'd say Facebook ads is definitely the main one here. I've saw maybe some Google ads, maybe like 30 sort of thing. But yeah, I see most of it's actually coming from Meta. Similar with TikTok, I saw some. This was like the only one I could find when looking at the public ad library. I'm assuming that a lot of their strategy is also going to be organic as well. So obviously I've just put paid ads here. I could probably have a whole another bubble for like, organic, but I'll be like a more marketing for now. I'm trying to just stick to tech stack. And yeah, in terms of the Spotify as well, I don't know if they're currently using this, but this is something I did spot inside of like, the theme code. So that would be interesting to see whether they're testing this out. I tried to find like a Spotify profile. It's like, these guys aren't a music company. I have no idea what's going on here. Or maybe it's just they think the demographic of people are using Spotify. So maybe they're putting some ad placement over there. Let's take a look at dev stuff. So for all of you guys who are developer background like me, you'll appreciate this. So you've got jQuery in the back. You've got Swiper. Swiper's my favorite in terms of sliders. Use this all the time. Swiper.js, my favorite. GSAP is also really cool. Use this a bunch of times in the past as well. I find animations sometimes are a bit distracting. So on this landing page that they've got, just before this thing like comes out, if you go to the page, you'll notice that they've got like an animation at the top. Now, they probably split tested it and maybe found that it just keeps people on the page longer, but I just find sometimes a bit distracting. Like, let me just get to the product. Let me just hear what you're actually saying. But sometimes it's just more about branding and proving a point. So that's GSAP. Lots of console logs. Again, moving at 100 miles per hour. I'm sure there's some things in here that could be tidied up. And they're probably using the GitHub theme integration, which I think is interesting. So something I'm a big proponent of, which makes your lives easier, avoid any errors. Affiliate marketing. This, I think, is probably the most interesting thing in their strategy that I've not seen before. So I've not seen these two apps before. I've seen obviously a ton of different affiliate apps. Maybe these ones are special in some kind of case, but I would assume they do kind of the same thing as everyone else, which is just kind of tracking affiliates and trying to make sure you have as accurate analytics and attribution as possible. So it looks like they're rolling with these two currently. So shout out to these guys. But yeah, if you checked out the sitemap, as I mentioned earlier, you'll see there's quite a few different affiliate pages and stuff like that going on. So maybe they're testing through that. And again, there's probably some organic kind of traffic and strategies going on in here as well to check out in their strategy. And then I think this is the last one. So AOV. So AOV is an interesting one. I was going to put this inside of the Shopify app section, but these ones are pretty basic, but these ones are all kind of geared towards optimizing average order value. So that's why I put it in a separate section. Unlimited bundles and discounts, bread and butter. A lot of people have this. It's just a little bit easier than the default Shopify. Same thing with this easy gift. So this adds an item to your cart automatically. For some reason, it's not possible to do this on the default Shopify experience. They can do it like with discounts in the checkout, but like just actually adding it to cart via the API is just a little bit tricky and just needs some more work. So this easy gift app, I've used it a bunch of times. There's another one called bogos.io, something like this, the blue one. And yeah, those two apps have just been really helpful because they just solved that problem. But I'm assuming maybe Shopify will come out with a native solution for that too at some point. And then after sale, post purchase, upsell, huge fan of like optimizing things past post purchase. So great to see those guys are working on that over there as well. So yeah, this is it. Let me know your thoughts, guys. By the way, if anyone's actually tried this protein bar, like anyone who goes to the gym, like actually works out, not just like you think you would, like if someone actually works out and you've tried these protein bars, please let me know your thoughts on it. I'm not really like a supplement person myself. Like I just eat my rice and eat my chicken. But I'd be willing to try it just for the novelty. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. And all of this information is publicly available. You can go to be honest, any Shopify site, you can find this exact same information just by obviously searching Google, GPT, whatever you want to use, and a few other different tools and extensions. You can do this with Gymshark, Games, Roads, Allbuds, anyone that you want to who's using Shopify. And yeah, I think it's nice to have this kind of transparency because you are able to see what other people are doing and then just realize like this isn't something crazy, like, oh my gosh, revolutionary. This is just doing the basic stuff really, really well. Obviously, there's some space for them to improve and optimize some things as well. But I think this is really interesting. So yeah, overall, I think this is great. I think there's definitely some things to improve. But yeah, they're probably moving at light speed, hiring people, making mistakes, all of these things. So I'm sure they'll fix these things within the next month, sort of thing. So yeah, excited to see what they get up to. I hope this video has been insightful. Just follow me for more. Bye.